Hello, everyone, and welcome. It's Self Scout here, PhiladelphiaEagles.com, and your official Eagles app, Dave Spadaro, Eagles Insider, with the Hall of Famer Brian Westbrook talking about the Eagles' offense against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers on Sunday. It's brought to you by Golden Nugget, where Philly gets engaged, and the offense, Brian, did not get engaged until it was too late on Sunday.
Yeah, you have to start in these types of games. You have to start early, and it has to be often. The offense needs to get rolling. They need to be more secure with the football. They need more explosive plays. That hopefully will come with time.
So this is 2 weeks of the same story. Where is the explosiveness in this Eagles offense? And let's talk about it, Brian, because it's the wide receivers now. It becomes an urgent situation without Alshon Jeffery, without Mac Hollins, without Mike Wallace. No matter who the quarterback is, how are you getting explosive plays? Before we talk specifically about Tampa Bay, you're the head coach now.
Well, if you're the head coach, you have to start scheming explosive plays, and you're hoping that you have a run game to get the defense to start respecting the run, sneak the safeties up a little bit, and then be able to throw over top. But then, if you don't have a run game, Dave, it's going to be hard to get those safeties to respect it. And at some point, you have to be able to, as a receiver, catch the football and go the distance. We've seen it in Tampa Bay. Their receivers are catching it, finding a way to get the yards after catch. Unfortunately, we're not getting a lot of those at this point.
Nick Foles against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, 35 of 48, 334 yards, and a touchdown. Sounds okay, but 25 of those targets are to Zach Ertz and Nelson Agholor. Kamar Aiken, Joshua Perkins, getting a lot of looks here. No Dallas Goedert. We are wondering where the Eagles' first draft pick is through 2 games in the season. Brian, what are defenses doing to this Eagles offense? Clearly, the run game hasn't been there.
Right.
And the explosiveness not there. So when you see defenses, what are they doing?
Well, they're saying, Nick Foles, you're going to have to come out and beat us with your arm. We're not going to allow you to run the ball and try to control the game with the RPOs and things like that. It's Nick Foles, you're going to have to come out and beat us with your arm. And then, as a defense, you're saying, okay, we'll let you catch the 5, 7, 10-yard passes. We'll come up and tackle you. That's what they're doing to Zach Ertz. Unfortunately for us, we're not breaking tackles. We're not getting the big extra plays. We have to find a way to run tougher after the catch, but also maybe take some shots down the field to make a defense back up just a bit.
Nelson Agholor, 16 catches in 2 weeks, but he's only averaging about 7.6 yards per reception. Now, he's made the move from the slot to the outside. Does that change his ability to get free?
Well, it's different. I mean, when Nelson first started, he was outside, struggled a little bit early on in his career, and a lot of different things probably dictated that. And then he moves inside to the slot, but he also has Alshon Jeffery on the outside. That takes the stress off you. That takes the pressure off you. I tell you, when you have a guy like Alshon that's going to get you 5, 7, 8 catches a game, and then you have him outside, and then you don't have him, the pressure comes right back to Nelson Agholor. He's getting double teamed. He's getting a linebacker underneath. He's getting a safety over top. It's a different type of game for him, especially when he's playing outside.
Brian, is it as simple for the wide receivers as whenever Jeffrey comes back, everything's going to be fine?
You would hope that that's the case. It doesn't normally work that way. Defenses will respect Alshon Jeffery. He's a big receiver, big catch radius, a guy that can go make you pay for not allowing, for defenses not respecting him. You saw Mike Evans just the other day. Similar type of receiver. He's a big receiver, will make you pay. He's also a possession type of guy. So when it's 3rd and 5, you can throw the ball up to Alshon, make sure you get that first down. I think things ease up for Nelson and the other receivers when Alshon comes back, but you still have to keep pushing if you're a receiver on the team.
So the Eagles' run game, we thought maybe if the pass game's not there, you can run it, you can control the clock, you can keep Tampa Bay's defense on the field. Didn't work, and 3.8 yards per carry. Ajayi banged up. Corey Clement leads the way with 30 yards on 6 carries. I don't know. I guess I thought more from the run game early in the season. And there certainly is a lot of season left here, but so far through 2 games, not as dynamic as I thought.
A lot more left in the season as far as for the run game. And sometimes over time, it just takes a couple weeks to get the run game going and clicking, but you have to stay consistent with it. That's Doug's job, to continue to call those plays. You know, Jay Ajayi not having that explosiveness. You saw it when he came back. He just wasn't himself. That's what happens when you come back from injury. I think Corey Clement should certainly get a lot more touches than for a running back. You need double-digit touches, especially in the run game. You need those double-digit touches. But when you go down and you give up a big touchdown the first play of the game defensively, that changes things not only on the defensive side of the ball, but also on the offensive side of the ball. Now you're pressing. Now you feel like you need to throw the ball a little bit more, and you can't be as patient with the run game. That changes things.
And you kind of had a sense that this was going to be a bit of tough sledding in that first quarter. The Eagles down 7-0, and a couple of penalties, moving back what looked like it would be a promising drive, and at one point the Eagles 2nd and 40.
Wow.
You really don't have many plays in your playbook for that.
There's no plays for that. But again, the penalties hurt the Eagles this week. Some of the turnovers absolutely hurt our team. But consistency, what's our identity? Are we going to be a run team? Are we going to be a team that's going to depend solely on the pass or the tight ends or wide? We have to find an identity for this year's team. We can't depend on what happened last year. This year's team needs to find that identity. It's going to take a couple weeks.
And then it didn't help that Jason Peters went out of the game early with a quad strain. Now, look, we all know how great Jason Peters is. We also know that he's 36 years of age. Is this a week-to-week thing with him, Brian?
I think, as you get older, the injuries last a little bit longer and they happen more frequently. And so you have to be prepared. The coaching staff, the offensive line group has to be prepared for Jason Peters to come in and out of the lineup. When you have him, great. We love to have you. But that backup, Vitae, has to be prepared and ready to go.
And I really didn't think that Nick Foles had a lot of opportunities for big plays. A lot of pressure, a lot of hits, a lot of hurries. And then when you look downfield, there just wasn't a whole lot there.
It's just not a lot. Again, when you have guys just running crossing routes and things like that, that's 5-10 yards. That's all that we saw yesterday. That's not going to be enough for the dynamic, the explosive play down the field. Offensively, we have to find a different way. And this is a good thing that I believe in Doug Peterson. He's adjusted throughout his career, his tenure as a coach. He understands the weaknesses of our offenses and the different teams that we have. Now he has to go back into his lab and figure things out. I think Doug has that ability.
A weird one. 35 minutes, 39 seconds, time of possession for the Eagles. They outgained Tampa Bay. They had more first downs in Tampa Bay, but only 21 points, and 14 of them coming after the Eagles fell behind 27-7. So that is our self-scout, the look at the Eagles offense presented by Golden Nugget Jewelers. For Brian Westbrook, Dave Spadaro. I almost said Brian Dawkins. It's so on my mind.
It's hard to get a Hall of Famer out your mind. He's a Hall of Famer.
Well, you are a Hall of Famer as well.
That's true.
Brian Westbrook, Dave Spadaro, we thank you for joining us.